Okay, in this video we're going to explain the leadership power-up bonus. This is probably the most powerful thing in our arsenal, as you may call it. So a lot of people think, well, you know, there's been a lot of programs out there that are cheap, and people say you can make all this money from them, and people try them, they join them, and they find out that they really can't make a lot of money in it, because what you have to do is really impossible. And here, to sort of keep people from thinking that, we're going to actually demonstrate this powerful compensation plan. Just in Time has 4 streams of income. It has the rev shares, and there's videos on that, and it has the we pay you a loyalty reward for you in earn it. Earn it if you have just 1/2 of 1%, not at 1%, but 1/2 of 1% of your matrix filled, you make nearly $7,500 a month. So that's a powerful comp plan. We pay you into that for free, so that's another stream of income. We pay for your loyalty reward, which is how you earn through that. The next thing is the 7x7 matrix that pays $1 on every level. It holds a whole ton of people, and all 3 of those compensation plans allow you to make money without sponsoring. It is possible to make money through spillover with all of those without sponsoring anyone. However, it's very important that a program has a reward for those who build. Only about 5% of people in any company are going to build anything, and if you design a company where everybody gets paid the same regardless of whether they do anything or not, that's never going to work, because that's exactly what everyone will do. You have to have an incentive for those who will work to work, and the better you can make it, the better you're going to do. Now, it's also very important to us that we make the program affordable to people, and that's why the price is so low, only $24.95 a month. However, you're not going to see even a program that costs you $1,000 a month paying out what this one can pay you. And that's due to, obviously, the rev share program, but also this portion right here. This is huge. So this is based on, I'm going to explain to you something that no one has ever explained to you before, but before I do that, I want to go into this concept that many people don't understand about MLM, and that is what a network is. You ask any billionaire, what's the secret to becoming wealthy? They will all tell you it's building a network. All corporations are a network, no matter what it is that they sell. The government is a network of any country, is a network. Okay? The difference between those types of networks and the MLM industry is that in MLM everyone's got a fair chance. Meaning, if you work for a big automotive company, you're never going to be able to make as much money as the CEO or the president or the vice president, because that's the way they're set up. And the harder you work does not increase the amount of money that you make, where it does in MLM. And MLM is the opportunity to build a network that you wouldn't normally be able to do, because to start a big corporation you need a lot of money, and most people don't have that. Where with MLM you can build, you know, the company's paying for everything. They're paying for the websites and, you know, the banners and all of the different things. They're paying to make the product, all of this stuff. And everybody, it's distributed out amongst all these people, and that's why it's affordable to the normal person. There's a big misconception that people have that you've got to be in at the top in order to make a lot of money, and I can testify to you that if it is a legitimate business opportunity with a legitimate product, this is simply not true. There have been many companies that I have joined 2 or 3 or even 4 years after the company started, and I still managed to build the largest downline in the company. So, of course, that doesn't happen if the company doesn't have a real product, because 2 or 3 years later, it doesn't exist and I wouldn't have been able to join it, okay? So, so that's the power of networking, that you can come in and you can build a network of people. There's over 7 billion people on the planet. You know, it's not as hard as most people think. In fact, the belief that it's hard is really what keeps most people from succeeding, because they just think that, well, I can't, so I might as well not even try. So in this particular compensation plan, in this part, what we do is we take 20% of the gross profits of the payment. So we take $5 of the $24.95. It's actually slightly higher than 20%. And we use that for this bonus. And this rewards the people who actually do the work. You can't have a business where everybody gets paid the same whether they work or they don't. It will never succeed. And it will even cause the people who are doing nothing to actually make less money. And what I mean by that is, if the company hires a whole bunch of people and says, okay, we're going to bring on all the people and you don't need to do anything, at the beginning that will work fine, but the number of people that you need to bring in over time will increase drastically, and the company just won't be able to afford to do that. So what does that mean? The people who were making money, not doing anything because they were getting spillover from the company, are no longer getting spillover from the company. The new people coming in are not getting any spillover from the company. And so the people at the bottom quit, and then the next level above them quit, and it just unravels like a cheap sweater. So it simply can't work. You have to have a growing number of people, and that's in this industry, it's 5%. 5% are going to do all the work. 2% are going to do 98% of the work. So you want to have a compensation plan that's going to reward those people. But since it's a percentage, as the company grows, it's always going to be a percentage. So you'll always have more and more people as long as you have a good product and an amazing way to pay that 5%. And that's what we have here, using just 20% of the revenue. That's exclusively for them. That's a big chunk to be exclusively for them. Does it mean that the other people make less? No, as I said, it means that the people who do nothing make more, because there's more people working and continuing to work. You have to have it. You know, it costs money. It costs time to bring people into a business. So if the person is making a very, very small amount of money, then they really can't afford to do it. In a company like this, if we just gave if we just gave them $5, even that's kind of hard to justify building this, as opposed to building a company that's going to pay them, say, $20 or $30 or even $100 per person. But when you do that, what does that mean? That means I got to jack up the price of the program. That means less people can afford to join. That means it's more work for the 5%. But this right here takes care of all of that in spades, as they say. So I'm going to jump back and forth between two pictures. This line of numbers in this example represents 3 different individual people. Okay? You don't have to sponsor 3 people. I'm just using this as an example, but it represents 3 individual people. Now, when someone joins the company, $5 of that payment is being paid to someone. Now, this is based on one of the most powerful compensation plans on the planet, but one with the biggest flaw. So with this, we fixed the flaw. The only problem that it has, we've fixed. So the original name of the compensation plan is called the Australian 2-Up. And you may have seen this before, and you may have seen tons of variations where people have tried to fix it, and they've all been unsuccessful. So I'm going to first explain to you the Australian 2-up, and then I'm going to explain to you what we have. You might want to call it the just-in-time 2-up, okay? So it works kind of like a relay, like, you know, you're handing something off. So in this particular case, if we just look at these 3 5s and we say this is 3 different people, each $5 is 3 different people. So if you sponsored this person and this person and this person, then you would get $5 from each of them, of which you have to pass up 10. That's another thing about MLM. It's another thing about networks, is that you're willing to give up something for something far better. So it's a very small amount that you're giving up. On this particular level, what you're giving up is 2 $5 payments in exchange for being able to make an unlimited amount of $5 payments. So 5 from this person, the next person, the next person, the next person, the next person, every single month. That's the basis of it. Now, in the Australian 2-up, like I said, they've done many different variations on it, trying to fix the problem, and have failed every single time. What people will do is, with the Australian 2-up, you're giving away 2 people. Okay? So this is Bob and this is Mary, and you join and you sign up Bob and you sign up Mary and you sign up Tom. You pass Mary and I forgot the names already. You pass these 2 people up to your sponsor, and you get to keep everyone else. These 2 people also have to give you 2 people, and those 2 people have to give you 2 people, and those 2 people have to give you 2 people. And what it creates is this infinite line of people who have to give you 2 people. It's so fabulous. Where's the flaw? The flaw is that people don't want to give up their people. You know, who are you going to give up? And so instead of going out and promoting a program like that, people will go either try to find a couple of crappy people and then wait until they have their crappy people before they bring in their real people. You know, they might know a big marketer or something like that. They don't want to give him up. So the company, of course, how they fixed is they sort of alternated, saying, okay, you get to keep the first one, but the second 2 you pass up. Or you get to keep, you know, you pass up the first and the third one. They've tried all kinds of things, but it doesn't matter what kind of ratio you say, which ones you say you have to pass up, the people will still cheat it. And how do they cheat it? Well, you just put your dog here and your cat here. Or if it's these 2, then you put your dog here and your cat here. And why am I saying dog and cat? Dog and cat is symbolic of somebody who it doesn't exist, as far as they're not a marketer, meaning the dog and cat are never going to bring anybody in. They're never going to bring anybody in. So all you really, in fact, get is, aside from the first 2, wherever they happen to land, $5 for everyone else. You never build the lines. I mean, in a small percentage of where people haven't figured it out, they may build, but it doesn't generally happen. So the whole power of the compensation plan is non-existent. And that's why it doesn't actually work. When it was first released, it worked. The first company that did it, it worked amazingly well. And a bunch of people started copying it, and then people figured out, hey, this is a way to cheat it. And so it just sort of went about that way. So basically what would happen in that particular case, if I say the first 2 have to be passed up, what they would do is they would sign up their dog and cat, or their son and their daughter, or whatever. 2 people who have no idea that they're in, or 2 people who aren't even real. So what that means is, instead of getting $5 for each person, you'd get $15 for each person. Because their fake accounts, they're paying for those 2, right? So they're paying 3 times as much as they need to. to try to cheat the system. And $15 is nice per person, but it's not as nice as the actual system itself working the way that it's designed, and I'm going to show you that. We've fixed, and another thing, like I said, people don't want to give up their people. It's a big aversion, so a lot of people won't even join a program like this that has an Australian two-up. So they don't want to give up their people. What we do here to make sure that that can never happen is we don't take the people. You keep the people. What you have to pass up is the money. And the system, this high-tech system that we have programmed, doesn't care where it comes from. It's going to be two. So how does that work? So it says, so when you sign someone up, what happens is $5 is sort of sent to you where the computer says, have you paid up 2 payments of $5? If the answer is no, then it passes up to your sponsor. If the answer is yes, it's deposited in your wallet. Same for your sponsor. So the $5 went to your sponsor. It asks the same question. Did you pay 2 $5 payments up? If the answer is no, it passes to the next person. And so in this way, it's only looking at the money. The people always stay your people. What does that do? It creates these lines of people that virtually goes to infinity, where you get $5 every month for all of them. So why does it say 5 and 10 and 20 and 40 and 80 and that sort of thing? The way that we illustrate this, because as I said, we take the money, this illustrates in this particular case, this represents one person. Well, this represents two. So I've made this other little graphic image here so you can see what that looks like. So if this is you, okay, then this is the $5 and $5 that's going to come to you. Sorry, you're up here. It's okay. So for this person here that you've sponsored, they have to give you 2 payments, okay? Then each of those people have to give you 2 $5 payments. 2 $5 payments. And this keeps getting wider and wider and wider and wider and wider. Okay, it keeps getting wider and wider and wider. So we go back to this image. This is how the system calculates. So it's not that you get this or this. It's that you get this and this. And if you're here, you get this, and here you get this, and here you get this. And these are, and you can get a total of all of this from each person that you sponsor, provided that you have paid your bill. Okay? And how much is your bill? It's 2 payments. 2 of every single payment. So when you've sponsored people and they haven't done anything, the payments are $5. When they get their 2, and they get their 2, then $10 is added, and $20 is added, and it keeps going down like that. So you will get payments once a month. You'll see your wallet, it'll come in, it'll say, you know, $5 payments, $10 payments, it'll say who it's from, and that sort of thing. And then of course if somebody, you know, like what they do with those where you pass up, they'll usually stop paying for those payments. So if they were to do something like that, well, it would just switch to taking the money from someone else, because it's not the people that are passed up, it's just the money. So so here we can see that this keeps doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling, and it will hold an infinite amount of people. Okay? Now, and this is kind of like, have you ever heard the and I'm sure you've heard it from me, that if you take a penny and you double it every day, that in the beginning, even for like the first week, you probably couldn't even buy a Starbucks coffee. But by the end of 31 days, you're looking at over $13 million. And all you're doing is doubling and doubling and doubling. So one way to look at this is how everyone else explains it, that it's a line. But when you explain it as a line, people don't get it. And as I said, no one's ever been able to graphically illustrate the Australian 2-up before. Not in any way that anybody could. I've even had program owners try to explain it to me, and they couldn't. But it's actually not a line. It starts with a line, it starts with one person, but that line gets wider and wider and wider and wider with all of the people in it, every single one of them, 100% going to infinity as your downline grows to infinity, paying you $5. And like I said, the other way to look at it is like this. So you might say you have to pass up to people. In our particular situation, you really don't. Let's say you sponsored this person and you don't have these people over here, the two, you just have this first column. What that means is this, you got $5 from them, you pass that up, and then when they get two, okay, then they're going to have $5 from each of them to pass up to you. So the system's going to say, have you passed up 2? And it's going to say, no, you've only passed up 1. Okay, well, I have 2 payments, pass 1 up to the sponsor, and keep the other. Now you've got an extra $5 payment, even though you've only sponsored one person. It all happens from this line that's forming underneath you, that's really just expanding and expanding and expanding. Now, I don't recommend that you just sponsor one person, because in essence you are going to be giving everything from that one person away. You're going to be giving from that one person, you're going to be passing it all up to your downline, except to your upline, except, like I said, in this scenario right here. And there's more situations where that can happen. But when you look at the next person, everything goes to you. Everything goes to you. Once you've paid that two payments, the rest all goes to you. So imagine each person can be worth over $10,000 per month just from this. Not the matrix, not how much you make in Earn It, in earn it, not how much you make off the power lines, just in this right here. And this is how you can make more per person that you sponsor than you can than they pay. Meaning you can make more from that person that you sponsored than the $25 a month that they pay. And it's because it's taking money all the way down to infinity. Where if it was a matrix compensation plan, we couldn't pay you $5 per person for everybody in your matrix. Why? Well, because once we hit level 5, there wouldn't be any money left. And it wouldn't work. So through this compensation plan, it actually does work exactly that way. So you're giving up something little to get something really, really huge. And as I said, you'll start getting $5 payments, then you'll start getting $5 and $10 payments, $20 payments. And if you're like, well, where is that coming from? It just indicates that your downline is growing underneath you and that these levels are filling in. Do you have to have a whole level to be filled in? No. It's just for bookkeeping purposes, so that when you start getting people in your lower levels, like down here, you're not getting a whole crap load of notifications that say $5 payment, $5 payment, $5 payment, $5 payment, $5 payment, because that's exactly what would happen. So, so for example, if this person only has one person, you'll see $5 from them. Later, it will, once they have two, it'll switch to, or as I explained earlier, the different payments. Then you'll start to see, $10 payments, $20 payments. So you know that if you, and this, here's the really interesting thing. In a matrix, you wouldn't see any of these people. They wouldn't be in your matrix. They're way out of your matrix. So you wouldn't be able to see them. So you know that if you're getting payments for 160, that your matrix is really, 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 really deep. Well, not really, really deep, but a lot more than the 7x7 that you see. So this allows you to know that, okay, my downline is really, really big. And we're not talking about people who are heavy hitters. We're not talking about that. We're talking about just regular people getting two, who get two, who get two, who get two. Because if everybody gets two, then what does that mean? If everybody has two and their downline builds and all they ever did was sponsor, they're going to reach a point as their downline grows where they're making over $10,000 a month off of one of them. So, so I hope that clears things up, helps you to understand this amazing compensation plan. We want to give you a reason to sell this amazing product that we have, or actually we don't even recommend that you sell it. We recommend that you just tell people about it, whether they join free or paid. You're going to benefit in a big way. So everybody needs this product. Everybody needs Just in Time. If they have a website, if they're trying to make money online, they need Just in Time. Normal SEO, Google it yourself, costs between $15,000 and $75,000 a year. Okay, so Just in Time's a heck of a lot